Okay, good morning, and thank you for having me here. Um, mm, um, okay, just a minute. So let me start with my short introduction. I'm Yao, an industrial designer. I graduated in 2019 with a degree in product design from the IED in Milan, and have been working as an industrial designer at Fabio Verde Design Studio since then. Okay. The title I've given to today's talk is Creativity Matters, a term that has two meanings. Firstly, creativity is an essential skill in the industries, especially in design works. Excellent creativity helps us to look at and solve problems in an open and creative way in the process. What I want to share with you today addresses this second dimension, which is the result of our creativity are also very important. How can we protect them in this contemporary digitally driven market? I would like to share some of my experience from my perspective as an industrial designer. In addition to my design work, I have been involved in and witnessed many things related to design and brand protection. Perhaps the most relevant and representative of which is the jellyfish project. This project was our first attempt as a design consultancy studio to launch our own brand and product, or rather a first-person perspective into the market. Now I want to focus on the jellyfish project and break it down into three parts: brand, product, and activity. So let's start with our brand. Fabio Verde di Milano was founded this year and is a product brand by our studio. With this brand, we wanted to think a soft, relaxed, hilarious beauty with a carefree, poetic irony. We like the idea of being able to create everyday gentle objects. Okay. Second. And now can you see on the screen is jellyfish pushpin is the first creation of our brand. She is a pushpin in the shape of jellyfish, just like her name. They are soft and enjoyable, beautiful, but also practical. They clean but don't sting, thanks to their soft and pleasant tentacles. You can use them as normal drawing pens, but you can play with them as well. This project was born out of dreams and imagination. Its vision is to inspire tiny moments of everyday joy through iconic, but at the same time, discrete products. This year, we launched the Jellyfish on Kickstarter in July and started a month-long crowdfunding campaign, which we have now successfully completed and sent out packages to all our bakers during this recent period. I believe some of you may already be familiar with Kickstarter. It's a crowdfunding platform for creative projects of all kinds. It includes a wide section from games to creative products. Each project on the platform has a defined time period in which it aims to reach a certain financial goal. At the end of the time period, if the goal has been reached, the money raised is paid out by Kickstarter to the project creator, who will use it to implement what was promised. If not, the money remains in the pocket of the baker, just like a gambling game. So now let's go back to Jellyfish project again from beginning to find out how it all happened and how did we deal with the issue of trademark registration and copyright protection. You can see at the bottom of this page is our project timeline, and the two rows on the top correspond to our actions and the progress on the trademark registration and the copyright protection, respectively. Last March, we first posted the Jellyfish concept design on Behance when her name was still Medusa. And as the time went on, we found that it was spreading, and we are thrilled to find that everyone liked her. So in May last year, the positive feedbacks from everyone gave us the courage to make her come true. Also, experience has taught us that it was the moment to apply for design patent for our product. So we have applied in both the European Union and China. You may note it took about 3 or 4 months from the application to receive the patent. Also, during the examination stage of the application, we discovered that our design had been directly plagiarized by someone who had entered it in a competition. But fortunately, we timely discovered that and completed it. So it didn't cause too much damage. The reason for saying this that I'd like to remind everyone to be aware of protecting your published or unpublished work. So now back to the timeline. Last June, after thinking through all the different options, we decided that Kickstarter would be the first hurdle for us to start this adventure. As a design studio, we always had the idea or the dream of starting our own brand. So we immediately put it into action over the next few months. We starting the product development, factory scouting, campaign planning, and many other things. Trademark registration was also carried out. To start the registration process, it's obvious that a name is required. But again, it's not that simple at that moment. In the past, we have actually registered two completely different trademarks for purpose such as design consultancy service, one of which was partially rejected due to the similarity in texture content to some of the street at that time. You may not be able to imagine that it took about a year from the registration of the trademark to the receipt of the result, which means that the year was completely wasted waiting for one of the rejected trademark. So after much thought and discussion, we decided to use Fabio Verdelli Milano as our brand name. The second step was to determine the direction of the brand, not only for commercial purpose, but also for the registration procedure. In the NICE classification, there are, if I'm not wrong, 45 different classes. Each classes is represented by a class heading, which gives general information about the type of the goods or service covered. For example, there are also something like class C15 handling musician instrument. But at that moment, we don't think either that or now our commercial footprint will expand to this category, musician instruments, for the time being. So we just do what we need. In the third step, we expanded on the original trademark registration with a new category 16, which includes push pins and some products that we have possibility to cover it in the future. In the fourth step, since we having learned from our first agent to carefully assess the feasibility of registration to avoid the risk of waiting a year to find out the registration was unsuccessful. After confirming that is feasible, we started the process and everything went smoothly in the end, fortunately. So basically, it's our process of trademark registration. If there are some things you'd say we've learned from this experience, I'd like to say, firstly, be aware of the time required to apply, and secondly, always keep alternatives open. Thirdly, bear in mind that each country, region has its own policies. Last but not least, consult some third-party agency. So I think that's all. Those are the things I want to share with you today. So once again, thank you everyone for taking the time to be here and listening to me speak. I'm grateful for this opportunity. Have a nice day.